certain that Our Lady will have pity on us, because she had a great pity at the time of St. John Gualbert. St. John Gualbert is followed by St. Philippe de Valois and St. John of Matha. These three saints are involved into the creation of orders for the redemption of captives, whose members made a vow, and mentioned a vow in the plenty of orders who had a fourth vow, like the Benedictines, they had the vow of stability, and the Jesuits, they had the vow of special obedience to the sovereign pontiff. And these had the vow that whenever necessity would call, they would sell themselves, they would exchange themselves for some Christians whose faith was in danger. Again, faith. When faith is in danger, the church goes to great extremities, because it's such a treasure. And Our Lady appeared to that saint, and she's the one who watched over these orders for the redemption of captives, and how much Our Blessed Mother must have worries about us today, because we are in a world where slavery has never been so big. Not just in numbers, in absolute number, it's the biggest, of course. There is slave labor in many countries. We've seen, Father and I, slave labor, child labor, slave labor of children. There is lots of human trafficking going on these days. It's huge, it's enormous. And also human trafficking of the worst kind, the trafficking of little children for evil purpose. And this is the worst, and this is taking place in great number. Never has humanity been so enslaved. With our own youth is in the slavery of electronics. Even the parents amongst us don't know what to do to remove the youth from the slavery of electronics. When you come to Korea and Japan, and you see them, they are all completely taken by the electronics. They plunge in those devices. They are totally dependent on those things. And the minds also are enslaved by everything. We are completely enslaved with taxation, for instance. In my country, it's 56.7% that you give to your master, the French state, before you can start to earn anything. So communism is very well here. And then I do recommend you to watch documentaries on North Korea. It's amazing. These poor North Koreans are totally enslaved. They are in a cage. It's a very big cage, and it's not going away. Not that across the border it's any better. It's slightly better, or it's not as worse, as bad. But at least we can go there and have a chapel in Seoul. But it's everywhere. All we see is slaves, because the devil cannot rule otherwise, except by being this horrible master that he is. That's why none of us must fall under his dominion. That's why you must keep away from sin, because he's not like our Lord. He's not a master who loves those who commit themselves to him. He could give some advantages for a little while, but all he intends is to kill, and to kill in a continuous fashion, and for eternity in his kingdom of hell. That's why just Our Lady had a great compassion on the suffering of a few, because they were a few thousand at a time, in the time of Our Lady, because the Muslim had the domination of the seas in the Mediterranean. It took a long time before the fleets of the Muslims were demolished. You see, what's before Lepanto is the domination of the sea by the Muslim navies. Frederick Barbarossa, not to be confounded with the German emperor, but Barbarossa, was one of the very famous Muslim admirals, and he ruled over the seas. That means that before him, they could raid the coasts very easily. In in my homeland, or where I reside these days in Provence, you had 45 villages back in the mountains, 20 kilometers away from the shore. And they had to live there because the Muslim pirates were raiding the coast of France constantly. They always attacked the Catholic Church for the Crusade, but no. When you look at the history of our own nations, we were constantly under attack. And so people had to live in the countryside, far away from the shore, and build these magnificent medieval villages that are very beautiful. Medieval villages in the middle of nowhere, on top of mountains. And that made a very beautiful architecture and beautiful setting. But at that time, it was just a matter of necessity. They didn't want to do it for the beauty of it. They would rather be on the coast where you can fish and everything and work less. But Our Lady had a pity. If Our Lady had pity for so few, we can have a certain hope that she will have pity on so many. The whole human race is in a state of terrible slavery, on top of which there is many wars and natural catastrophes. And so when there are less natural catastrophes, like right now, whereas there was lots of big natural catastrophes last year, and there are less natural catastrophes, we have many more wars are getting started. So that there is war everywhere. And those are wars that are massive and that they are there to stay. And the system of the United Nations is making the situation festering everywhere. So these wars do not reach any conclusion. In the past, wars would have conclusion. They would, even World War I and World War II ended, and they concluded with the crushing of the other party, and these are modern wars. But these wars are even worse. Those are urban wars. They are very dirty, and the civilian population is especially exposed in these wars. And these wars are festering. They fester around, and they never come to a long-term solution. They keep on going in time. So that they went to war in Libya, and Libya is still in a state of civil war, and now everybody forgets about it because there are so many other wars elsewhere that everybody forgets about it entirely. And there is war going on in Mali, there is war. Those are Muslim nations essentially, but still, these are the wars that are taking place. So for Europe, the best place to be in Europe is Ireland on this problem. But you never know. You never know that these things could catch up even on this peaceful island. But Our Lady definitely is destined for our time, in which her triumph is the triumph over this situation in the church, also where the mind of the people has fallen into slavery. They are all unchained. We try to talk to them, but most of these people, you clearly see that they are not going to listen to us because they are unchained. They are unchained in bad habits of sin, and they are held by evil masters who are leading them into the precipice. And so there is the compassion of Our Lady has not diminished, and compassion increases with our miseries. But it's not taking place before the hour which is fixed by God. Our Lady was very eager that the mystery of redemption would start. Our Lord told her, "My hour has not yet come." She anticipates this hour. She triggers the beginning of the mystery of redemption early on. And so how much must she long herself for the beginning of the salvation of the human family today, when all we see vaguely, she sees very clearly. And for us in Asia, it's very spectacular to see how much humanity is enslaved. It's how many millions of people are enslaved. Like in the Philippines, it's a Catholic nation, losing the faith, but many millions still have the faith. But it's a country which is completely and openly under the power of Freemasonry. So that the Freemasons, when they go around in the Philippines, they put the square and compass on their car. They usually have tinted windows, black windows, but they put a big, compass and square on their car. And then even the emblems, the national flag, the banknotes, they carry Masonic symbols openly. It's a country which is under the open domination of Freemasonry. Everybody is a Mason. Even the main lady who is helping us near Manila, she was a member of the Rotary Club. And she explained to me why she bailed out from the Rotary Club. And then she explained to me that on the local level, the mayor and everybody else, all the people of means in Tanawam are members of the Rotary Club. Everybody who has power over there is involved with Freemasonry, and the newspapers, and all the other things, all these churches established by Freemasonry, the Aglipay, the Independiente, the Iglesia ni Cristo, all these things are creatures of Freemasonry, plus all the other sects were brought by Freemasonry. And this country was put in chains by the Americans, by America itself. And Blumentritt, was governor of the Philippines for some time. He's a Jew, and he governed the Philippines with an iron hand for quite some time. And once everybody was in shackles and everything, then the Americans left the rule of the Philippines to Freemasonry itself. All what you see now in the politics of the Philippines is the fight between the families within Freemasonry. So there is the Aquino family that fights the Macapagal family, and so on and so forth. So in Asia, it's very spectacular. We see really the manifestation of this slavery. That's why we pray in the Our Father, liberate us from evil. We are not liberals because we love true liberty. And there is no liberation but from evil. And there is no liberation, says our Lord, except by the operation of the truth. All these people, everywhere in the world, are all being enslaved because error has put them in chains. And so remember what you say in the Our Father. The best translation of the last sentence of the Our Father is the Latin one. Liberanos a malo. Deliver us from evil. And today we celebrate the feast of the lady who delivered so many Christians from evil, and she is just about to do the same, but this time on a much grander scale. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost.